to call Munhall Borough's regular council meeting of November 21st, 2023 in session, I guess we'll call. I don't know. Called to order. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Bree, would you start the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
But you have to do it in a foreign language.
Seth, would you like to do the roll call?
President Brennan.
Here.
Mrs. Fry.
Here.
Mr. Hanna.
Here.
Vice President Ondo.
Here.
Mr. Stein.
Here.
Appears that Mr. Vodadian is absent. Mr. Youngkins.
Here.
Mayor Foss.
Here.
Quorum, sir.
Thank you. So the President's report, I don't have a whole lot to say today. I have been doing some background information on some of the agendas, and as we go through here, some of the motions, we'll speak about them. I would like to just state for one moment of silence, I would like to stop for one moment of silence for all the people who've been displaced in Israel and Gaza on both sides. It's been a traumatic experience for all, and I'd like to just stop and just take a moment of silence. Thank you. We don't realize how much freedom we have in this country. We really are blessed. Okay, so I know that we are going to be having Light Up Night, and I'm going to let the mayor let us talk about Light Up Night. So,
Okay.
Mayor?
We'll start with Light Up Night. That's going to be next Friday. It's going to be pretty much, we're going to go, we're not going to change the date. Hopefully we do make another round of the playoffs if they play Friday, but we're going to keep Light Up Night next Friday on December 1st. The Public Works has been decorating the building. They are decorating the old building and decorating this building here. And we're going to have their usual, I've talked to the Girl Scouts are supposed to be coming. I've talked to some Girl Scouts. I've talked to the Boy Scouts coming. We have the band coming, the choir coming, who I've spoken to. They're all coming, and we have a speaker from one of the pastors will give a message, Christmas message. So it should be nice. And then afterwards we'll go into the fire hall for cookies, hot chocolate. And it should be nice. December 1st, it starts at 6 o'clock. And the following day is the Christmas holiday parade on 8th Avenue. So that'll be well attended, I'm sure, too, by all. Right now, we have a game Friday. We're playing for the WPIL Championship. My bodyguard here sitting next to me is the center for the team. And we're gonna get a win. I have a bet with the Beaver Falls Mare. They have somewhere out there called Orem Donuts. Anybody heard of Orem Donuts?
They're awesome.
They're supposed to be fantastic. So we're gonna bet some Orem Donuts. And I haven't decided yet, if it's gonna be Nancy B's cookies we're gonna put up, but we're not gonna have to give them up because we're gonna win the game.
That's right.
Anything to say about the game, JJ? How you feeling?
I will be ready.
They'll be ready. They'll be ready. So we're looking forward to that, and I bought my tickets today to go down to the game, so I'll be there on Friday cheering these guys on.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Rob, has there been any discussion about another Main Street event after the parade? I know there was talk about
Oh,
it.
yes. There is a Main Street event after the parade, and that is going to be the Main Street Market afternoon. And it runs from 2 to 5, and it's not going to be like the ones we had this summer. I'm sure it's not going to be as well attended. There's so much going on. after the parade, it's a long day, the library has an event immediately after the parade. And, but they have vendors coming up. It's not gonna be the normal market where we're not gonna be, I've already asked them and told them not to do any 50/50s or Chinese auction. Let the people spend their money on the vendors that are coming up and the businesses on Main Street. And there is going to be Santa Claus up there, and it's gonna be the Munhall, the new bar up there, the Main Street Tavern, Munhall Main Street Tavern. They're gonna have a Santa Claus up there. He gets real involved. They had a chili cooking contest this weekend, so he's been real active in the community. And as far as I know, all the businesses are gonna be participating in, probably pulling their tables outside and having some stuff to sell. But it'll be nice. Fire hall, I give a recommendation to the fire hall. I asked them what they were gonna be doing. They said, we'll probably sell beer again. I said, you know what would be better? Why don't you do a cider? And then, you make a cider for people that don't want it, but if somebody's a little bit cold and they want it spiked up, spike their cider up. They have a liquor license, so I think that would sell much better than beer for them. So we'll see how that works. I don't know if they'll take me up on it. That's what I told them to do, or asked them to do. So that really is. Any other questions?
Yeah, aren't you gonna talk about how many turkeys you gave away?
Oh, well, I didn't give them away. I helped, but they gave they had 200 turkeys, and they gave probably about 125, 150 away. There were some no-shows, and I think they were going to try to deliver them to people that had the cards to get them. And that event went over real nice, the turkey giveaway. The Munhall Police, along with the Batch Foundation, put together a yearly event. The second year they've done it, and they gave more turkeys away this year than in the last year. So it helped a lot of people out that needed some help. And hopefully they could even help more people in the future. I think a big donation came from Richard Bazzi, didn't it? On some of the turkeys. I heard Richard Bazzi gave a big donation on a lot. So probably the 4 turkeys I was responsible for buying was just a small point of what compared to what Richard Bazzi, purchased. I'm sure he purchased a lot of turkeys from what I understood that's why the number was up so high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
For me, okay.
Solicitors, the solicitors report?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have an executive session item to discuss with council after the meeting whenever it's determined will be held. A litigation issue. Other than that, just one item I want to talk about, which is item 5 on the agenda. That is the new police agreement. It was negotiated by your borough manager and the police bargaining unit. And once the terms were agreed upon, which I know council was involved in and approved, it was reduced to writing by the police union attorney in a memorandum of agreement, which is the document identified in number 5. So that needs to be approved, and then subsequent to that, the union attorney and I will finalize an actual updated written collective bargaining agreement, which can be signed off by you, Mr. President, when that's concluded. That's all I have.
Thank you. So I just have one question on this, item 5, and I'm just going to ask it now. I could ask it later, because I've been asked about it by persons. So this is just the contract. This is not hiring other police officers or any other vehicles or anything else. This is just the contract for the wages of the police and their benefits and salaries.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Thank you. Just wanted to make that clear for people. So, moving forward, we need to approve the minutes of the October 17th meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. So we have speakers. We have no speakers on the agenda. Anyone like to speak about anything?
Can we, I think they have a meeting tonight, don't you, the scouts? Do you have a meeting?
Yeah,
Can we do the scouts?
We're good to
Can they
be
speak
here.
first, or does it matter to you?
We're good to be here, so whenever you have.
Well, I'll have them next.
Okay, I think
We'll
that's,
have the girls softball first.
Okay. For those that don't know, my name is Bree Worsbowski. I am the president of Munhall Borough Softball. for just under a year now. This is Steph Collins, she is our secretary. I'm coming in front of council today. Munhall Borough softball is seeking the approval of Borough Council to add on to and renovate the existing concession stand at Woodhill Field. MGSA has been awarded a grant from the state to cover the cost of the expansion and renovations. We worked closely with a representative from the state as well as an attorney to be certain that all criteria for the grant has been followed. The updates will include a 16 by 16 concrete pad that will house a expansion to our kitchen area, a new roof to cover this pad, new indoor and outdoor lighting in our concession stand and then outside on our pad. New flooring within the concession stand, new cabinets, countertops, new doors, as well as a French drain to be installed. This past spring, we've had 3 incidents where we had water running down the hillside into our concession stand, and we would come in the next day and our concession stand would be flooded. So we had countless hours to just clean up our floors. This would also fund like new equipment, fryers, microwaves, coolers that have not been updated in years. I don't know how old they are. These updates will benefit the league, the players, and the community by allowing the volunteers to better serve our concessions, which in turn we give back to field improvements. It will also provide additional seating for our customers as we want to put new benches on the outside pad where our pad is existing right now. The revenue that we make from our concession stand will allow MGSA to keep the cost to our families for registration low, and will also provide funds for further updates to Woodhill facilities. We did like a quick study, and for all the surrounding areas, we are the lowest registration fee compared to like West Mifflin, Thomas Jefferson. So we try to keep it low for our girls and their families. All the costs incurred will be covered by the grant and Munhall Borough softball. All we simply ask the borough to do is to update the policy on the building once the work is complete. I have pictures too if council wants to see it. We don't have drawings complete yet, but I do have pictures and to just show you guys if you're not familiar with the field. So we just need council's approval in order to move forward,
So thank you for coming and giving us this information.
Sure.
What is the grant you got? How much?
It's a COVID grant.
And it's a what?
COVID grant?
A COVID?
Yes,
And may I ask how much you got the grant for? How much was the amount?
125.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
I have to commend you all for the work you're doing. And I wish we could get a grant for our concession stand that we have on our field here.
Yeah.
Good job, girls.
Our numbers are increasing year over year. In the spring, we had 192 registrations. In the fall, we had 156. So in the fall, it's always a little lower just because of other sports. But from the age of 4 to the age of 16, girls come to our field to play. Like we have West Mifflin, we have the city of Pittsburgh because they don't have a league to play in. So they come to us. Our league is highly recommended by a lot of outside communities, and even those that come to play on our field have nothing but positive things to say about our organization.
So,
I have a few questions on it, Pat.
okay. So, do we need to offer them to grant them the okay to do that, or can they just do it on their own, or?
Depends on their grant. Do they want an official action by a borough council? I don't know.
So we approached code enforcement, and he told us that we have to get council's permission in order to move forward with the grant.
So I don't know if it's like a
Borough?
Like a permit? I don't know. He
So
just
you
said,
talk- you
I think he meant like a permit because we're expanding on the
Yeah.
land.
Well, it's a combination of things because it is a borough-owned
Bill?
facility.
of course.
So council needs to provide it's okay for that. And then there would still need to be the building permit based on the drawings, as well as there are other
Right.
ongoing questions,
Yeah.
such as with the physical improvement, and these are pieces that we've brought up for discussion before but haven't resolved, such as the ongoing maintenance of any such facilities.
So in doing that, then, we would want to see their drawings and diagrams and have them brought to the borough, to have them look at that and say approval or
Yeah,
non-approval.
the administration, the building code official, Dave Cannon, has to see the drawings, and
Okay.
I don't know if the engineer would need to be involved, and make sure it's in compliance with all the ordinances, particularly because it's on borough property,
Okay.
and then he can issue a permit. But if the grant requires official action by council, there's no problem legally to do that.
Okay.
Make a motion
All right,
to approve their plan for improvement on borough property.
okay. Any questions from council?
Yes. Gonna ask a few tough ones here.
Okay.
Okay.
Trying to-
These are in reference to finances.
Okay.
And just as, my name is Bill Hanna.
Nice to
I'm
meet
the
you.
former president of the Munhall West Hempstead Baseball Association.
Okay, yeah,
So I know what it takes to run a league.
okay.
So go easy on us.
So, I am a finance guy, I'm gonna ask the questions. It'll be a little tough,
Okay.
I'm not gonna candy coat. Okay, first question, do you guys have any idea what the borough, what it costs the borough for your facility per year?
So we were presented with, from our old treasurer who resigned unexpectedly. He did give us some numbers that he compiled with, I believe, the borough manager. So it just seemed like a very rough like there was just no, like, for example, when I get a Duquesne light bill, it tells me like, from Duquesne Light, this is how much I spent, my wattage and everything. All we were given from our treasurer when he left was a Excel spreadsheet with some numbers that he put in there. So as far as official numbers, we don't have anything official, we just have a synopsis that he kind of handed over to us at point of
Well, I can speak in some rough numbers.
Okay.
When I mean rough, plus or minus 10%.
Right.
So it's about $18,000 to $20,000 a year.
Is that just for Woodhill? Okay.
Electric is about $7,000. Water and sewage are about $7,000. The internet services are about $2,000. The insurance on the facility is pretty low, it's about $1,000. Just property insurance does not cover the contents within the building
Right,
itself. Okay. So a couple other things that I have to ask. In reference to, first off, the league itself, are you a house and rec league? Or
Yes.
are you a house, rec, and a travel team?
We are rec league.
You're a rec league.
We are not a travel team.
So when is the schedule? I mean, when is normal operations? of
So we
girls'
have our batting cages that are in our basketball courts.
Mhm.
Those are typically used for if there's a rain date. The girls can go in their practice. We also use it for winter conditioning, which runs through beginning January and goes until end of March, beginning of April. And then during the spring season, if a game gets canceled, we go into those cages for practice.
I would say that's a lot for a house and a rec league itself. Do you have an idea just how much the actual cages run the borough, just on the electric bill?
3,000 a year is what we were told.
A little bit higher than that. You were consuming, in the month of January this year, almost 2,000 kilowatt hours for a house and rec league itself. Are the batting cages themselves available to the public or other organizations?
So when we were given the money for the funding from Bill Campbell, we got the cages built.
Mhm.
When we went through, I wasn't on the board at the time, I just know from being passed down, it was part of the agreement that that was only to be used by Munhall girls softball. I don't know if that was on, I'm not sure whose end that was on, but I just know that was the overall agreement, was that was only for Munhall girls softball, because that was covered by our insurance. So if other organizations used it, then there's an insurance. From what I was told, as on board, that it was an insurance issue. If other people started to come in to use it, so we were told.
So it's a private facility
Yeah,
that the borough, you would like us to pay on a public, it's a private facility on public property, essentially, that you're saying with the previous agreement, because of insurance, you don't rent it out or allow other organizations to use it.
so yes, because our insurance, I'm assuming,
only covers the girls
The
in our
girls,
league.
the girls
So
in the
you have liability insurance that
Yes.
covers your girls?
yes.
So can I stop you for 1 second?
How about you let me finish?
How about if we ask the attorney if it's our building or their building?
I think we've done that with maps, but please do.
Is it their building or our building?
What's on our property, it belongs to the borough.
Right.
Go ahead.
I guess, I don't know. It just seems a little much right there, that, the fact right there, I mean, if organizations within the borough did have insurance, would you consider letting them use it, like the Boys Baseball Association?
We
I guess it doesn't seem like it seems like that's not our call. It seems like if it's a borough building, is that our call? I mean, we would say no because of insurance and because it was given to us by the Bill Campbell Foundation for just our girls. So if it was up to Munhall Girls Softball, I'm gonna say we would probably say no, because they're not covered under our insurance, it was given to the girls.
Okay.
So we're not gonna sell it out to other organizations.
Good.
But that's just me speaking, we have a board, I think that would come down to our board.
They're representatives, you can go back to the board, yeah.
Mhm.
I guess, the concession stand seems to also have pretty consistent use of the electricity itself. I don't know, I mean, pretty much, we shut everything down, it's not the season. I mean, you're spending sometimes in the off-season, like for December last year, almost $180 in electricity in a building that doesn't have, you're not running a league. I don't quite understand why.
In December,
Yeah.
In the cages or in
Well,
the
they're,
shack?
they're both separate, Seth can
Oh,
provide you. So a
yeah,
little
so-
bit of this just food for thought.
Yeah, we lock up our building up top where
Good.
our shack is, that gets locked up from end of October until March. The water gets shuts off by the borough. We rent our own porta-john to be used during winter months for the cages, so we use no water during winter. And that comes out of our pocket.
Okay. At this point, I understand you have an adult league that operates there during the fall.
Through the spring,
So it's more than just girls softball.
yes.
so the adult league, the payment for adults, their fees, the registration fees, is what pays, so T-ball and 6U does not have to pay. So their registration as an adult league, when you pay to play, that prevents T-ball and 6U for having to pay, so that's why we started that league, was to be able to get free registration for the 6U and the T-ball.
So it funds T-ball and 6U.
Yes.
And do you have any tournaments during the year?
No,
No tournaments?
we haven't since I've been
Since
So as a fundraiser, you don't do like the boys that have a tournament?
with the boys.
Like the boys, the
No.
baseball?
no.
So there's no tournaments?
No.
Simply fundraisers, and you're a house and rec league.
Mhm.
Speaking of books, I mean, how much cash do you have today?
In our account?
Yeah.
Sorry, let me get the treasurer's report.
Do we really need to grill the girls softball league?
Oh, well, we did a pretty good job with Non-Hall Cares Group, so I would like to finish my questions. I told them.
So we're gonna grill the girls softball?
I'm not grilling you, I'm
You
asking
sure
you some
are.
questions. No, I'm asking.
You are grilling the girls softball league.
Do we not have an executive meeting this evening to finalize the budget? I want to make sure the expenses associated with it go into the budget, so we can continue to fund. It is
Okay.
the job of the council.
That's fine.
I am
Keep
the
on
chair.
grilling- Keep on grilling the girls
I am
softball
the
league.
chair of the finance committee, that's all I'm asking.
Whoop-de-doo.
$13,524.
Okay. So I guess in the meeting on September 19th, I'm paraphrasing, but you told the borough manager, at least one of you, that you could afford no additional costs. Right there, but you have 13,000 in the bank.
We didn't say we couldn't afford it.
Okay, misunderstanding now.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what you're asking right there is, to build out, which is good, okay? Because the main revenue source you have is your concession stand, like most amateur organizations. and it's gonna replace equipment itself. You got a state grant, for which I applaud you for the fact that you're well run. Okay. So, I guess just the only issue I have right there is really those batting cages, personally. Being that they're not public, insurance or no insurance.
So that's the real issue. Do you want baseball or do you use the cages?
No, actually, no. I don't. I just want, if it's a private thing right there, to be funded by you folks.
Or who would you, I mean, who else wants to use the cages?
It's a public facility. That's
Right.
my reasoning behind it. I think, I understand the concession stand. There's no question about that.
Yeah, it doesn't
The
seem
batting
like
cage,
it's
we've got 2 batting cages at Westfield. We've got a batting cage at Troutman. They're outside. Great. I see people use them. You're using the batting cages to improve the skills of the folks in your league. I understand that. Okay? Which is good. My only issue right there is the sense that the borough has to pay the utilities on the batting cages themselves, and you don't fund that yourself, because it is essentially a private facility on a public ground that's only for use by the girls softball. I don't consider the concession stand the same way.
Why don't you? Why don't you consider it the same way? It is the same thing. The girls are using the concession
Well,
stand for
we
the
actually-
girls softball league.
So actually, if we go back to history, when the band would request right there to use a Troutman field, on at least one occasion, they did use the concession stand to provide drinks and things to
Well,
help.
there's councilmen here that have had parties at Woodfield Park
Good.
and had their graduation parties
I'm glad
there.
to
So
hear
let's
it.
not go back into history. We support the girls' baseball league, just so you know.
I do too.
Doesn't sound that way. It sounds like you're grilling the girls' baseball league.
No, I am just something, the biggest problem is actually not the girls' baseball league, is the fact that the Munhall Council does a really poor job at developing relationships with girls' softball and baseball, so they're here right now, okay?
I mean, I
So-
speak for the girls softball organization. I think we have a very good relationship with most of the borough
Absolutely you do.
council. I mean, you guys are there on opening day. I know several of you threw first pitch. I know Mr. Roberts' granddaughter plays for us. I feel like we would, so I'm just speaking for us. I feel like we.
We love the girls' softball.
I feel like we
Did you
do.
say I did?
I agree.
Rick, could I say something?
You certainly may.
These are my thoughts, okay, regarding the girls softball. To think that we had in the spring 192 girls, and in the fall 156 girls. To me, between the ages, you're saying bring them 4 to 16, that's commendable, people. What does that say about our borough? That we support our kids. Our kids are our future, okay? I don't know if many of you realize this, but my daughters played in that 40 years ago. Brianna knows, she played with them. And that field didn't look anything like what it does now. That concession stand wasn't there. I'm just saying. Their association has reseeded the fields, has put new lights down there, has taken care of fallen trees. They paid $3,000, our borough paid $1,000. In other circumstances, the borough paid the whole $4,000. But the girls were willing to pay $3,000 of it, okay? They fixed the plumbing in that building themselves. They would not take it to the council. They now have a grant. I wish we could get that grant. I think I might have to talk to Jamie and see if we can get something for our concession stand. They're not going to put in, with their money, a French drain, a roof over the top, the expanding of that concession stand. Because if you've been down there, you know there's a lot of kids and parents and grandparents and everybody down there. That concession stand needs a bigger place. Because you're all sitting on top of each other and waiting in that line forever. I'm going to be very blunt and say, what are we missing here? These are our kids in our borough, in our park. Goodness sake, my thoughts are, if you want other people to come and say, boy, this park's beautiful. Boy, this is fantastic. I wish we had it. Maybe those those people will consider moving into Munhall, which means not only would we get more people, we get more tax money, we get better improvement, everything, image, not improvement, image. And I'm just saying, what else could we ask for? They're bearing the brunt, be it through a grant or money from their thing. God knows in my eyes, they're doing a fine job of using the money wisely, okay? And I just say, boy,
I think
love
they're doing
doing
a
it.
fine
They're
job
doing great.
raising the girls
me too.
and giving them a life learned lesson on teamwork and associations and working together.
In a safe
We
area.
applaud you.
In a safe area.
We applaud you.
Thank you.
And if what we have to pay is the electric, I'm just saying, guys, I think it's a minimal amount, because I think it's bringing much more benefits to our council, to our borough. That's what I think.
Anyone else on council have anything to say?
Yeah, one last thing. Thank you for answering my questions. And to Councilwoman Fry, are you not the same person that helped write a letter to the Seal Valley School District saying not to move forward with what they're trying to do with Park Street?
I
It has
did,
nothing to
because
do with
everybody-
this situation.
Hold on.
And
Did
you-
you not say it was for the kids? Is not public education just equally important? I would
Bill?
say yes, it is.
Still, regarding the school.
Totally different issue.
Regarding the school issue, that affects all the people and their taxes. This is not affecting, they're doing it. They're doing 90% of all the improvements that they've put in.
They've
And can I
done a
just
good
say
job
one
of
thing?
getting a grant. I applaud them for it.
And I know you mentioned our bank account, but do you know how much money it costs for us to replace one light bulb in one of those lights?
I do not.
$2,000. So what happens if we don't have this money in our bank account and 3 lights go out? Like, we need a balance in our bank account to cover any costs related to our field. Like, it's not like we're just sitting on this money.
We're doing the trees, we
Yeah.
do the fields, we
We're
take care
paying $16,000 to have our field redone out of money we raised.
Okay.
Like, it's not like we're keeping this money in the bank and we're saying, no, we don't want to pay utilities. It's we have a bank balance to cover improvements or things that are needed at our field. So I just wanted to.
And I'm
say
up
that.
there, you know, both of you know that I'm up there all the time. The number of volunteers that I see up there when they built the new picnic tables, and they painted the new picnic tables, and they cleaned up the field, and we're gonna complain about putting on, that they're getting a grant to do?
Didn't complain about a grant. I don't know
Not
what you're
me.
talking about.
I'm all for
I
you,
applauded them.
I'm all for you.
Ms. Hannah, what would you like to
Yes,
say?
I have a couple items. In reference to saying that you applaud girls softball for fixing the plumbing and things like that. Munhall baseball used to do the same thing, so that should come from the funding of the individual organizations. So that shouldn't be kudos to them for doing it, because any organization should take care of a plumbing issue or small things like that. My question to girls softball is, does the adult league that plays there have insurance?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why you allow them to play instead of having, okay, so that covers. I think one thing that when, probably to make it clear across the board, is you say you have a good relationship with Munhall Council, but it seems like you have the relationship with a few people on the council, not the whole council as a whole. So you like,
I
you
think you're
didn't.
misspeaking there.
I think you were misspeaking, yes.
Well, please let me finish.
I might do.
Go ahead.
I don't know
But when
whether
you
I'm
throw Munhall
speaking or
Council
not.
under the
I
table, I'm
said-
not gonna,
I
I'm
said
gonna
maybe.
protect myself and the rest of council, because
I'm not
we,
talking to you, I was talking to the girls.
well, you're talking in public about it, so sorry, go ahead.
I said, I
Keep
think
on
to
going.
clear it up, I think it's it appears that you have the relationship with a few members, not the whole council. So I was not specifying any single member, I said a few.
Okay.
So, all right, here, you maybe lose my
Who don't we have a relationship with?
I'm saying, you say you have a relationship with the whole council, but when you were going through the grant process, I've been coming to every meeting here since the beginning of 2021, and Munhall Borough softball has not been at one meeting yet.
I have 3 kids,
So.
ages
Well,
10,
I'm
8, and
just
3.
saying.
So
They don't need to attend meetings.
I know,
Go
but I'm
ahead.
saying, if you applied for the grant,
This is
and you have a good relationship with the council, maybe you should have come and said, hey, look, in the future, we're gonna
I
be
raise a
funding.
family, I can't come every night.
That's all I'm
We have
just saying.
homework.
That's all I'm pointing
Enough
out.
of us badgering Munhall Girls softball.
I am not badgering them, I'm asking
I'm just
questions
gonna,
also.
we're gonna end this discussion right now,
Thank you.
because I'm not gonna allow it any longer.
Thank you.
We commend you guys for coming. They came here on their own free will to come and talk to us. Thank you for coming. I don't know if we need to move forward now. We certainly, I believe, have our support from the council to move forward. We could vote on it right now if we have to, but I think we would be rushing things a little bit to do that.
I'd like to say something. You don't have to come to every meeting.
We know that. We know that. We know that.
I have a 5-month-old, a little occupied at home.
Can we give them our go-ahead to proceed with our blessing, to proceed and show us all the drawings, and we'll be more than happy to work with them?
You can.
So would our next steps then be to take our drawings to Mr. Cannon? Like, what are our next steps, just so we know?
I would think that your next steps would be to bring all your drawings to Mr. Cannon
Okay,
and show him them and ask him for any help that you might need,
okay.
because he will be more than happy to help him, and I will call him tomorrow and make
His granddaughter
sure.
plays in the league, so.
Pardon me?
His granddaughter plays in the league.
I'm sure
so
he
I think
does.
he would be very
I'm sure he
excited for
has
this
several
girl.
grandkids that play in the league. So,
Just to speed up the process, I can actually simplify it a little bit. Do you have construction drawings yet, or are they just
They're in
conceptual?
place, they're being worked on.
Okay, so once the construction drawings are in place, that's.
So yeah,
when
it
you're
took
ready
us
to go.
longer so to get the grant, we hired, well, we talked to an attorney and we talked to some people just because obviously with the grant, that's substantial. There's a lot of things that we need to make sure that we do appropriately before we talk to a contractor and spend $125,000 and then they're like, wait, you forgot to do this, that, and the other thing. So that's what took us so long to come to this meeting, was we wanted to make sure that we had everything that we thought we needed to go forward. So part of that was talking to a couple of different contractors, just several things that we needed to, cross our T's, dot our I's to make sure that we were able to use this grant money appropriately and accurately and whatever. So that's when that's when we talked to them and we decided on the one we were going with that was still in the budget of our grant. And so we just weren't sure what our next steps were. So we did call him. He came to look and he said that we needed to come here, right? So yes, and so that's all right. So we just weren't sure how to go along.
It sounds like you've got, and we'll figure out what motions council may need to make it official. But as far as going back to Mr. Cannon, once you have the construction drawings ready and you're ready for permits,
Yes.
that'll be the next step.
Okay.
I'll make sure that he's aware of the discussion and council's approval to move forward into that stage.
Okay. Thank you.
You have received your grant, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so
Yes.
do you have a timeline?
yes, it has to be spent by the end of 2024,
Okay, so you're pretty quick here.
yes.
Okay, so you don't have to match anything, it's 100%.
100%.
Okay, so at this point, you have your construction drawings.
They're
Have you gone out to bid?
We have 2 bids right now,
You have 2 bids?
Yep.
Okay, have you selected which one yet?
we're not yet, no.
Okay, so the next step, once you select, you need to apply for the permits
Right,
and the code enforcement.
right.
Do we need anything from the planning commission session?
No.
Okay, then right there, it's a matter of go, because you've got a pretty tight timeline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
So I think that council should make a vote on this tonight in their support of this, in your endeavor on what they're gonna do. So I'd like to add a motion to the agenda.
Need a motion to amend the agenda to add a motion. That's first.
I'd like to do that.
Someone needs to make a motion.
I need a motion. Motion by Mr. Rondo,
And second.
second by Ms. Fry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
abstain.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
One abstention. Mr. Stein, you in favor?
I said I was.
Good, thank you. So it seems like you have everyone on council in favors to start this.
Yeah, you wanna make the motion now, or do you wanna wait?
Let's make the motion
We
now.
can do it now.
Let's do the motion now then. And how will the motion read?
Motion to approve the preliminary plans, as we haven't seen them, of the girls softball organization to make an improvement to the concession stand on borough property, subject to final approval by the building code official.
That's exactly what I would have said. So I need a motion on that.
Motion to what our solicitor said.
And I need a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I have a question.
Aye.
Question on motion?
Are we creating a situation where if we vote on that now, and then we see the drawings and that we have some concern about them, that it's too late?
No.
We've already approved it.
No, yeah, this is just preliminary. Everything has to be approved by Mr. Cannon,
Okay.
all the building plans, permits, right. It's just support I think they need for the grant at this point.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll be okay.
awesome.
Thank you.
So let's do that vote again. It was all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
One abstention.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good for you gals.
Thank you.
If you want the numbers, I got them right here.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay,
Those
let's
are
move
ours.
forward.
For the-
Seth, can I give those to the ladies?
Sure.
All yours. Saved you a trip.
Thank you.
Look at my notes.
Okay, who else would like to speak?
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, thanks.
Please stand up and tell us what organization you're with.
My name is Alicia Clark. I'm with the Girl Scouts Troop 52469. We are here tonight because my scout came to me, Loki, about her idea of always having a community Christmas tree put up. Continue with our idea, or your idea?
So I thought that it might be fun to kind of unite the community with a Christmas tree that people from the community could decorate ornaments or bring ornaments that they maybe don't use on their tree anymore and put them all on this tree. And then we found out that there's going to be the holiday market on December 2nd, and we thought that would be a great time to have ornaments out to decorate the tree with. So I'm working to get a tree from, like a real tree from a farm, and we would make sure that it's, not taller than 8 feet, and make sure it fits any safety requirements. And there's a spot on the corner of West Virginia and Main Street that has with a missing tree, so there's a tree gone already, that we could put this tree into, and there's just a spot there already. We would want to.
That's on the western side of the Main Street?
Not
Western,
the apartments.
Yeah.
West Virginia Avenue, the western side.
Is this a tree you're gonna plant there, or is this just a tree you're
It
cutting
wouldn't be
down?
planted, it would be like in a stand.
Okay.
And we would want to put lights on it, but there's a telephone pole close enough that we could, and it works, right? We tested it, and the power works, and we would be able to string lights from there. The Truth would be able to maintain the tree, keep it healthy, since it is real. Secure the ornaments so that they don't blow away in wind or any storms that might happen, and then clean up the area anything that would be needed during December. So we would hope to keep it up until at least Christmas, if not a little bit after that. So we would also make sure that there's no glass ornaments on the tree that would be a safety hazard if they blew away. So it would be all plastic. So, and then there would also be a little, sign, maybe it's the star on the top of the tree that indicates that it was made by Troop 52469, and then, maybe something with Munhall Borough.
So the one question I have would be, what's going to stop the tree from being blown over if the wind would blow it over or something like that?
Well, I think the grate that's there might be a little secure.
Yeah, it can be anchored pretty well. I checked it out. It could be anchored pretty well with the grates there. They should be anchored very well.
So I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
What I would suggest, if you do that, is I would think that they should work with Bob Bicey and make sure that it's secured properly, and the borough would help you do that. What do you
They
think?
run through me first.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would love it.
How you getting the tree?
I have contacted a farm about them donating a tree, but if they don't get back to me or don't want to donate a tree, I can always,
How big would you say the tree's gonna be tall?
no more than 8 feet, so.
How about this? If you can't get the tree and you can't get it donated, you come see me and I'll buy it. All right?
And I'll go in with you.
And we'll help you too.
I'll pitch in too, Dave.
Yeah. So we think it's a wonderful idea.
Absolutely.
Do we need to vote on this?
I know
We
the
don't.
question of money comes up, and we have suggested tapping into borough lighting. So you guys would tell us how long we should run the tree.
Oh, yeah, you
As
can
long
talk,
as
you
you
can
want
put a
it.
timer
Put it
on
on
it.
a
Thing in,
timer,
leave it plugged
we can
in.
put it on for an hour.
Put it on and let it
Let
run.
it
Put
run.
it on from dark till midnight.
Yeah, we'll run at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Like Dave said, let it run to like midnight. Maybe Christmas, let it run all night.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve and the Christmas Day, let it go the whole time.
Awesome.
I'd say leave the lights on 24 hours a day.
I don't know how to affect that, there's an apartment there though. I don't know
Oh.
how to affect that apartment overnight, so we may want to be careful.
I think
with
it's an
that.
awesome idea. Good
It's
news.
a great idea though.
We love it. You have our blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's awesome. Any other speakers who would like to speak? Anything that they'd like to talk about? Yes, ma'am.
Hi,
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Mona. I don't think you remember me from the cafe.
I do.
Okay. Anyway, I'm calling because my daughter, she lives on East 11th, the same street as Carnegie Library. She's more like down towards McCord. It's real dark on our street. I just wanted to see if you guys would be able to consider maybe putting some more lighting on our street. It's real dark.
We can have that, we can look at that and see if it's possible. I don't know about a street light, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, because there was a shooting like a couple of blocks down. It's real scary on the street. Like she comes in from work, it's dark and all that. That's just scary on her. It's super dark.
Is there any lights on at all? Any street
Yeah,
lights?
there is, but it's more down. Like it's not bad
Not
there.
really burned out, maybe?
I'm sorry.
Is there any that might be burned out?
There is one that looks kind of dim, so you might can look at that. Maybe if it was a little brighter, it might help.
Borough manager know where it's at.
So let's ask the chief to look into that and have the police look at the lighting there, and he can look at it and he'll give us an answer.
Okay,
All right.
all right, thank you so much.
Did you say East 11th Avenue?
Yes, East 11, yeah. Same as the library, but more towards down by the library. down by McClure. The address actually is like 405, if you remember, like 405 East 11, that's like right in that area, right there. Hold on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for letting us know that, because we want our kids to be safe. We want everybody to be safe.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you, Mom.
you're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay. So we're going to move on to the motions or items for consideration. Motion to pay the bills for the period October 1, 2023 through October 31st, 2023, summarized as follows.
Motion.
Ending with a balance of a total of $1,172,296.36. Is there anything standing out in this number that's $1 million? I mean, is it just an accumulation of
It
just
is,
high numbers? Or?
it is a number of things, but most specifically in recreation, we did have a $73,000 payment for the playground projects. Under debt service, we did have our bond payment. And under insurance and benefits, we did have our insurance premiums for the 23-24 year.
Okay, thank
Seth,
you.
can I ask what the $55 is?
Those are funds that had not been put into a specific category yet as of the time of the report.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I know I said that out of Robert's rules, but I apologize. So let's, I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Unanimous. Motion to approve payroll for the periods ending October 23rd, October 7th to October 21st, 2023.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No negatives? No nays. Okay, ratification of telephone votes. A, appointment of KLH engineers as the Borough Engineer of Record. It was a 4-3 vote, KLH on 10/25/23.
Motion.
Motion by Kevin,
A second.
second by
Me.
Reedy. All in favor?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. So I'm guessing this was probably discussed last week at the workshop. I was out of town. I wasn't going to make it, but I just wanted to get something on the record. So I reviewed both proposals. They are both comparable in skills, staffing, and achievements. Both firms seem adequately able to support our needs. The only difference I saw was cost. If they both can do the job to meet our needs, and one's more expensive, it seems like it's a bad fiscal policy for us to be spending money on something like this when we are struggling to get the budget and a reserve fund put into place. I don't understand the logic behind paying more money for something when you can get less for the same amount.
So let me answer that, because that's a valid question. You weren't at the entire meeting, you left. And
But I took the proposal home.
After you left, we did ask that question, and we asked KLH if they would negotiate their fee, and they said they would. So they did negotiate their price down. Was there a number that they negotiated down to yet?
No,
So
we haven't seen it, but they have said it will be reduced, especially based on the one meeting.
Right, so that is in the works to do that.
Okay.
Okay? So that being said, do we vote on this now? So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
In lieu of not knowing what the price is, I'm going to abstain.
Okay. We have one abstention,
Any nays?
I should have one no from me.
one no,
2 noes.
2 noes. 2 noes, we have 3 ayes and 1 abstention. Does the motion pass?
Yeah. That's 7?
Well, Mr. Voter, he's not here, he did vote for
Well, the
it.
vote was already taken.
Right, yeah.
So we're just confirming, and the votes were recorded, Mr. Manager?
Yes.
We're just confirming that there was a telephone vote. That's the official
Well,
action.
that's what I'm asking, I'm not sure if it's
That's
a
all,
re-vote or
yeah.
what.
It's not a re-vote.
Okay,
Action's done. It's just confirming there was a telephone vote.
all right, very good.
I'll agree, yes, there was a telephone vote.
Okay then, so moving forth, on to the 4th motion, approve the concurring resolution to apply for the Commonwealth Financing Authority in the amount of $824,000 for the Main Street Business Corridor improvements and authorizing the borough manager to serve as the authorized official to file all applications and documents on behalf of the borough. I need a motion.
I motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? It's unanimous. Okay, approve, number 5, approve the MOU between the borough and the Munhall Police Union, and this is a vote on their contract. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Dave, second by
Me.
Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay. Approve, number 6, approve the resolution for land development allowing the Steel Valley School District to be served by a sewer tap-in and a sewer extension as reviewed by the Munhall Sewer Authority, Sewer Municipal Authority, and the BCO zoning officer. What does BCO?
Building code official.
Building code official. So, I need a motion and then I can ask a question? Is that right? So, I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
I have a question. So, I question the manner in which this is all doing and what this actually means and is. I understand that what this is saying, that it's been reviewed by the Munhall Sewer Municipal Authority and the zoning officer for, I guess this is for municipal tap-ins for the sewers, for the buildings, is that correct? So I think this is being done wrong, because honestly, I called the Allegheny County Health Department and I asked them the procedures for sewer tap-ins and for municipal buildings to be built. And he told me specifically that they approve that first, and that it goes to the state of Pennsylvania for approval as well. So I don't know that the sewer authority and the zoning officer have the authority to approve this.
They do, sir, and in my description under motion number 6, I will read for everyone.
I read that, and you go ahead and read it.
The authority has provided a letter from the consulting engineer confirming that they have the dry weather capacity in the sewer system to allow for the development. That's the first piece, because if they don't have it, no construction happens. The resolution from us strictly indicates the project does not violate borough ordinances for zoning and land use. Component 3, which is what that is, this is a DEP form of the sewage facilities planning module specifically designed for those who want to do a sewer extension or land development that would involve 2 or more dwelling units, in this case a commercial building or an educational facility, and needs to be completed by an engineer or architect or somebody who's familiar with the process. The developer is the one responsible for developing the sewer facilities planning module. The sewer authority provides them the information, the developer sends the completed application to the DEP along with the required fees. It's up to the DEP whether or not they approve the plan. So the borough's sole role in this is to state that we agree that it does not violate any of our ordinances or zoning. It does not approve an actual sewer tap-in, and neither the parties, the BCO nor the sewer authority, are outright approving a sewer tap-in. They're stating that they have the capacity, and then it goes to the state for approval.
Okay, so I understand what you just said. And I don't know how do we know that that's been done? Have you seen any of the drawings? Anyone seen any of the drawings from the sewer authority? So we're supposed to vote on something that we don't know about? Have seen? We're just gonna say, we have a letter saying that this has been done. And everything's in approval, but we don't know that. Have you seen any drawings on this, anyone?
I haven't seen any drawings from girls softball, but we just voted on that. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's like, if we're gonna use that logic, it's that same.
We are using that logic.
We're talking about.
We voted for them to ask us to show us their drawings.
I'm perfectly fine with believing that I trust them, that they're gonna do the right thing, and the state will look at what they've done to make sure it is in compliance. That's why it's there.
That's why they should have been here, huh?
I didn't ask for that.
I know you didn't.
It was a motion, you're the council president, you should have asked them to be here.
I asked the authority of the county of what the right procedure is. I did do that.
I think you're a few steps beyond where we're at right now.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's pretty evident right there.
Wow.
So you tabled it last month, so if we table it again, okay, all it's gonna do is hold up the school district right there to build a new school.
Well,
If that's what your intention is.
I certainly don't think that the procedure's been done properly.
But did we not write a letter from the council about the new school? Am I wrong?
We did.
I disagree, thank you very much. I was in favor of the fact that they do build a new school and not look at retrofitting an ancient structure that's gonna run more money.
Do you know what a module is? Do you know what a module
A
is?
module of what? in
What
reference
this,
to one
what this
thing.
facilities planning module, do you know what a planning module is?
If it was,
Do you have any
regarding things
idea?
in IT, sure, absolutely.
It's not IT, it's a planning module.
Okay.
And what that planning module does and speaks about, so you all know, is the effects that a building will have on the neighborhoods. And I have not seen anything completed to anyone to Munhall Borough to say that it's not going to change the street flow, any of the buildings, any of the sewer flows, any of the land development, nothing. We've just got a letter saying that
What would you like to see?
we just got a letter saying that the Munhall Sanitary Municipal Authority and the BCO zoning officer says it's okay. Well, we don't see any drawings or any paperwork or anything to show that it has been approved
Okay, so
by anyone.
So make your ask. What would you like to see? Right there. You're
I would
asking
like
a
to see the sewer authority come to us and talk to us. I would like to have seen the school come to us and talk to us
Okay.
and show us what exactly is going to happen with the street changes, the traffic flow studies. I would like to know what's going to happen to the neighborhood. I certainly know that the people on Woodlawn Drive would want to know what their changes are going to be made, or to this little side street there. How is all this going to change our town? I think these questions should be asked, certainly. So I don't think it's been done properly, and I think it's been done backwards. Like this building was done backwards. So yes, I do have questions, and I do have a lot of problems.
So you're finished with your question, right?
And furthermore, if we took it off the agenda, do you think that if we didn't ratify it last month, do you think that they would call us and say, do you have any questions or any problems? Would you like to come and talk to us? We've not had one word from either the sewer authority or the school district on any of this. I mean, would they want us to vote on it and approve it? I think that it would be,
So let the vote happen then.
I think it would be a problem.
Let the vote happen. You've asked your question, so we have two motions, now we need a vote. That's how it works. Can we have the vote, please?
I don't know, can we?
I believe as the council president, you are going to ask next for the vote.
So, do I have to ask for this vote?
Well, there's a motion and second on the floor, so there has to be a vote unless someone makes a motion to table. One of those two.
I make a motion to table this.
You need a second.
I can't second any votes.
Yep, you can.
Mr. Vashnick, before I say, the second, I just want to ask you. Last month, we tabled it. Now we're asking to table it again. That means it can keep coming up on the agenda each month?
Correct.
So if right now, we don't even want to table this until we get some information. I have gone to many school board meetings about this issue, okay? Not about the tap-ins, about the elementary school being built. The school district doesn't even know. And they were in a bit of a confusion because the superintendent and, change of reign for the election all went into effect. And so they're not taking a position, and I do feel just like Rick said. We sent a letter stating that we as council do not feel this is the time.
You agreed to it, sir.
Bill.
I did not agree to it.
No.
There was no vote.
You had a choice.
There was no
You
vote.
didn't deny.
There was no vote. I have no idea. It won't matter of public.
That's
record.
okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
We don't need a new school. We
Please
need ancient
continue,
history.
Rena.
Thank you.
Please continue, Rena.
I'm just saying, I don't think that we should be tabling this to discuss this every month to see if we're going to get it, if we get it. I say, when the school district is ready and they have their plans and they then present them to us, then we would all know what's on the plans and we would have a better understanding of it.
Well, that's exactly what the county health department supervisor who looks over all the plans said. He said, we don't have anything from them. There's nothing that's been approved. There's nothing that they're moving forward for the school at all. And he said, honestly, it comes to me first before it goes to the state. So I question the whole validity of all this,
Right.
and I
don't even want to have it tabled. I want it removed
Should
off
you
calendar
either
until.
tabling it?
No,
putting-
I'd like to see it removed.
You want, no, you don't get that, it's a vote. You either table or,
and then the next month,
and we vote.
we'll decide on how it goes onto this.
Under the agenda.
Yes.
No, I don't think that's the way it works.
Yeah, it does work that way.
Mr. Solicitor,
Yeah,
we have a motion, we have two motions, we had questions. We had a motion to table it with one vote. What is the next step?
Okay, first of all, to answer Mrs. Fry, we're talking about two different things. So whether this appears on the agenda next month is a separate matter.
Right.
We're dealing with a motion and a second that's on the floor. It must be voted on unless there's a motion and a second to table, and that passes by a majority vote. Otherwise, the original vote has to be taken. Whether or not it appears on the agenda is established by the borough manager, subject to approval by the council president. If a majority of council thinks something should be on the agenda that hasn't been approved by the manager and the borough council president, then a motion could be made to add something. That's separate from what we're dealing with right at this moment.
Correct.
Is it gonna be a motion, is there a second to table? Otherwise, the original motion must be voted on.
So we need a second to table, or we'll vote on it?
Right.
Correct. Correct.
Yes.
Thank you. Do we have a second to table this?
I have a question about this before I actually figure out which way I'm leaning.
Okay?
So Greg or Seth, hopefully one of you two.
Yeah.
This is just us granting them the ability to do that if they ever get a plan together and we give it our okay. If the time, if we can do this now, and if they come up with a plan, we're like, that's never gonna work, we're not, that's boomer, planning commission, whatever says it's not gonna work, then this is moot.
This is actually even before that.
Yeah.
This is a DEP requirement that they cannot move forward with anything, and the borough is stating that the plans that they have do not violate our zoning or land use ordinances.
Correct.
It's not stating whether or not the borough council or anybody approves or disapproves of the project. Does it meet the legal requirements within our zoning? And our BCO, our zoning officer, has determined, based on the meetings that he's been in and what he has seen and the information he's received, that it does meet those requirements.
And also specific with regard to sewage. This says that our authority has reviewed it and says the preliminary plan of the school is not inconsistent with the borough-wide sewage facilities plan. That's what the resolution states.
Thank you.
So it's like a safety measure protecting Munhall. Like if you vote and say, yes, it's a go, you're saying we're protecting what we have in Munhall right now. Is that
We're saying
just the bit?
that we have the capacity for the predicted sewage flow and that doesn't violate anything. Saying no says that the plan for the sewage is in violation of something in the borough ordinances.
Yeah, so.
And we don't know that.
But-
No one on this board sitting here knows that. So how can you vote for it? Because they've not discussed
Code enforcement
it.
officer that we pay. You asked a question, I gave you an answer.
We have nothing at all.
Borough manager, the code enforcement officer works for the borough manager. As the code enforcement officer informed you, Seth, that he is good with what is being proposed.
Yes, he has.
Thank you.
Our engineer at the sewer authority looked at it, and so did the solicitor.
And again, I'm gonna tell you, it's not been approved by the county. And it's not been approved by the state.
Doesn't matter for right now.
It does matter.
It's time for a vote.
We need a vote. It's not time for a vote.
Yes, it is.
It's time for, are we going to vote for a,
We need a second person to table it and a vote.
A table.
Or we need to vote.
so
Your choice.
If we need a table, or is anyone gonna vote second to table? If not, we'll vote.
I'll second it to be tabled.
Okay, now let's vote on the table.
Listen, I'm running the meeting, not you. You want the gavel? You want to run the meeting? You sure think you want to, I think.
I
You like to
think I
run
know the
things.
procedure.
You like to run things, don't you?
That's what I get
Sure.
paid to do.
Yeah, well, you're not getting paid here.
And
So-
I'll choose that.
That's for sure.
Better do a roll call.
So let's do a roll call vote.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Roll call.
I can't wait until December
I can't either.
or January.
Or February, for that matter, and September and October next year is right.
Okay, Mrs. Fry, on the motion to table this, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hannah,
No.
Mr. Rondo,
Yes.
Mr. Stein,
No.
Mr. Yunkins,
No.
and Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Okay, it is a tie vote.
Mayor,
False.
Mayor has the authority to vote to break a tie.
Mayor, how do you vote?
Does the mayor have to do the vote tonight?
No,
Do it tonight.
I don't think you do. I don't think,
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't looked that up in a long time, Rob, but I think you have the right to defer that. I don't have the borough code in front of me, unfortunately.
I don't probably bring my briefcase, but I think you do have the right to defer.
But,
I'm not sure though.
yeah, unless we can pull up the.
I think he
borough
can-
code.
No, no, that's okay, that's all right.
I think you
I mean,
can.
with respect to our code enforcement officer who works for the borough manager, we pay that man a wage to give us his opinion, and I am going to vote to no. Not to table it.
Okay.
So now we got to vote.
Yes, we did.
Somebody rolled twice.
No, the motion passes, right?
No,
No.
the motion to table failed.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna do the same thing. So go ahead.
Okay, so the question is now back to the motion to approve the resolution. Mrs. Fry, how do you vote?
No.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Rondo,
No.
Mr. Stein,
Yes.
Mr. Yunkins,
Yes.
Mr. Brennan.
No.
Okay, again, a tie vote at 3-3. Mr. Mayor.
Yes to approve on the same thing. The code enforcement officer has agreed to this, and I still think we do have our protection, so I do vote yes. That I think we're still protected, if there is some problem.
Okay.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. All right, so let's move on to motion number 7, is that correct? Is that 6? Motion number 7. Approve the ADA parking spaces at A, 529 East 9th Avenue, B, 177 West Larkspur Street, C, 122 East 18th Avenue, number 1, I guess that's apartment number 1, upon the recommendation of the chief of police. I need a motion.
Motion.
Dave, I'll have a second.
Motion by Mr. Yunkin, second by Mr. Rondo. All in favor? Aye. Approve the payment of the 2023 tax anticipation 10 note on November 30th, 2023 in the amount of $1,296,199.26. I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approve the sale of the Ford Explorer VIN ending in 9802 to the highest bidder from the municipal bid for the auction completed on the 21st of October.
November. That's a typo.
Oh,
What's today?
October
Yes.
21st, November 21st, 2023. The buyer being Zach Wilkins at a price of $3,500. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approve the sale of 2 conference telephones placed on municipal bid for the auction completed on the 17th of November?
That was October.
October.
That was November as well.
Oh, it is November.
I apologize.
Okay. November 23.
That was last week.
The buyer, Sunbury Municipal Authority, for the price of $100. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Approve the purchase of a 2023 Ford F-550 4x4 DRW chassis and dump body outfit from Wilson Wind Ford Stevenson Equipment at the purchase price of $110,851.23 with CoStar pricing and authorizing the borough manager to complete all the paperwork necessary for the purchase of said vehicle. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
I have a question. Seth, how are we gonna fund this, so the council knows? Out of what year's funding?
At this point, funding would be out of the 2023 funding, of which there is an adequate surplus to cover that and without reducing any said reserves, proposed reserves for any funds.
Wow. We just found $110,000 like out of the air?
Pretty close, because the other piece to announce is that when council had authorized the sale of the stock, that money did come in at the very end of last week. It was between $86,000 and $87,000. So that was a little bit of found money, and if we want to put that together with the funds from the sale of the 2 vehicles and the chipper and the phones, we're at a little over $90,000. The other piece being and more importantly,
The sale of $100 of the phones, is that what you're talking?
along with the other pieces, yeah.
Okay.
It all adds up.
Okay.
But the other real piece being that this vehicle, as I described from the mechanic and the general manager for first vehicle, now Transdev, that it's a combination of this vehicle is in very rough shape. I had it on the wish list for next year's funding, but I did not put it in to make sure that we had a balanced budget with other expenses. But based on their determination, the vehicle is in very rough shape, and it's a matter of that Wilton Wind Ford had ordered these with the anticipation of the strike happening, so they were lucky to get them, and we have an opportunity, and we have a need, and we have the funding. If council votes no, I would be putting it in the budget, and we would have to wait until a vehicle, we'd have to wait for a vehicle to be ordered and delivered.
So is our intention just to write a check for it?
Yes, and avoid financing,
Pardon me?
and avoid any of the financing fees, because we have the ability to do that without dipping into any of the
Okay.
other planned reserves.
Any other questions?
I got a question. Are we gonna be able to put that, other truck up for sale?
For anyone who may want to buy something with
parts.
severe body rust, yes, and severe frame rust, but yes, we can, and that would be the plan.
All right, just wanna make sure we're trying to get rid of it.
I got a comment on the motion. The other day I went back there with Mr. Bicey, and we did go over the dump truck itself, and they're afraid that it would not even pass an inspection. It's that bad. I would hate to see us go through, if we do happen to have a bad winter, be minus that particular dump truck to be able to take care of our roads, to treat our roads. It's that bad. I mean, the frame's rotted away, the body of the dump is rotted away. Like I said, I went back there and we went over the truck, and I sort of said, yeah, this isn't gonna work. And here's the thing too, with as bad as that truck is, and if it does not pass inspection, and something happens and one of our employees gets hurt because of it, we're in trouble.
Out of curiosity, I totally understand, Kevin, because I think the same thing. The last thing I want is for somebody to get hurt. But Seth, did we have any idea that that truck was in such dire bad shape?
To the extent that it was, no. To the extent that I knew that it was the number one request and that they were requesting it, yes, if I had known exactly what the degree of safety was, because when I put this plan, the vehicle plan together over the summer, it wasn't. They just did a bunch of hose replacements and other pieces, which I believe may be how they found some of the additional underbody rusting.
So Seth, in a conversation you and I had, you've also requested Bob and First Vehicle to put together a report on the state of the vehicles within the Public Works inventory, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the funding source right there in a motion, we agreed to sell essentially stock itself for the money. So the vast majority of this was funded through good financial management by Seth, from the standpoint of seeing that, hey, we're getting $3,500 a quarter, probably a year. So we cashed in, you all voted. So surplus go down, just by the delta right there of about $20,000, so that's all good. Find a place right there. So with the rest of it, we'll be able to, in the future, with the strategic plan and the capital improvement plan, we'll be able to sit there and say, okay, yeah, we need to do that. So we're catching up for a lot of things that we did not spend money on. Expect more.
Absolutely.
Let's vote.
Are we ready to vote? So we're at, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? No nays. All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, any public comments? So after this session, we're going to adjourn to a executive session. One additional item I'll make right now before we go into executive session is that we're going to have an announcement for our budget public hearings on December 11th and December 12th of 2023. Both hearings will occur at 7 p.m. in council chambers. The budget will be available for review in the administrative offices and on the borough website by November 29th, 2023. So this meeting that we're adjourning to is a personnel meeting, and it does concern somewhat of the budget process. So we will be doing that, and then after that we'll adjourn, I guess.
You can adjourn now. I mean, we made an announcement to the public that we're having an executive session that satisfies the requirement of the Sunshine Act. The meeting can be adjourned now, and there's no need to return, have a public radio if we choose.
Okay, that's what I was asking, because I wasn't sure if we had to, if we had to come back and adjourn the meeting.
You can adjourn now.
Okay.
Before we adjourn, I have one thing the chief just asked me. He has 2 applicants for crossing guards, and they're part-time crossing guards, which we really need part-time crossing guards, right, chief?
Yes.
And do we need a motion for him to have an okay to interview, he asked me, for the crossing guard positions? Okay. As from we passed before, he just needs to let council know and myself if we wanted to sit in. Okay. No motion necessary. We're good.
Okay, so I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Youngkins, second by Mr. Ondo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.